Hey guys, welcome. My name is Kelly Williams and this is a yoga class. I teach the Phoenix Lifestyle Plaza, so I'm really excited to be able to offer these videos to you. So today's yoga class is really going to focus on our sit muscles. A lot of us might be sitting a lot more than we think we are, or maybe we realize we are considering what's going on. So we're going to focus on how to release your sit muscles. So with that being said, all you need is your yoga mat. If you need a yoga block or a strap or a blanket or a bolster or any other prop that would work for you, feel free to grab that at any time. Maybe as these videos progress, I can start to bring in more. But this is our first one, so let's get to it. I'm going to have you come down into child's pose on your mat. So our knees come apart, our big toes come together, and I'm going to have you start here. You're going to lift your tailbone, shift your hips back as far as you can without tucking and rounding into the low back. This is actually going to take away from the stretch that we're trying to gain here. So big toes together, knees back, shifting our hips back until we start to feel the back curve. We pause here, lift that tailbone, walk the hands forward and sink that chest down. Breathing is going to be very important in our yoga practice today. Not only does it help us relax, help us focus, but the big breathing, lots of oxygen, helps those muscles really open up. So if you're feeling a lot of anxiety today or just anxiousness, let's just try to breathe. I'm always going to recommend that you do one movement, one breath. And we will practice that now. So we're going to tuck the chin to the chest, round and roll it up with an inhale. Exhale, flatten the shoulders out. All right, knees come together into our cat-cow pose. So shoulders widen, chin lifts, big breath in. Belly comes down towards the mat, tailbone lifts, shoulders pull down away from the ears, big breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin into cat. You're pushing up through the shoulder blades, tuck that chin, head goes towards the mat. Shoulders widen, tailbone lifts, chin lifts, big breath in, belly towards the mat. Exhale, round and press up. Two more guys, inhale. And exhale. Feel free to take this pace at your own. Maybe a little slower if that feels good. And tuck and round. Good guys, let's put those two together. So big toes come together, knees come out to the edge of our mat. We're sinking back into our child's pose. Taking a big breath in. Exhale, sinking the chest down. Big breath in. Exhale out. On your inhale, tuck the chin, round up through cat. Keep the knees and toes where they are. Exhale, widen the shoulders, lift the tailbone, drop the belly through our cow. And shift it back to child's pose. Hips staying lifted. This is important here. Here we go. Big breath in. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, widen the shoulders, lift the tailbone. And exhale, shift it back to our child's pose one more time. So your child's pose might be here, it might be here. Doesn't matter where it is. Come into a comfortable pose for you. And let's breathe. Now, if your knees are bugging you, this would be a good time to use some blocks or some pillows or a blanket to help kind of get a little bit of cushion into our knees. All right, guys, with your inhale, let's round and roll it up through our cat. Pause at the top. We're going to bring those knees together and actually scoot those knees back. So our knees are now behind our hips and our hands are actually out in front of our shoulders. Because what we're going to do is we're going to shift forward, so we line up shoulder and wrist. Maybe drop the toes, elbows go back, nose goes forward. We're coming all the way down to the mat. And I want you to take those thumbs and pull them back so your thumbs are coming into your ribs. What I'm really looking for is your elbow wrist alignment here. So we're pulling those arms back, elbows squeeze in, shoulders pull down away from the mat, Inhale, we're gonna lift into a little baby cobra. Now the toes are relaxed, the hips are relaxed. We're just lifting through the torso. Exhale, back down. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, down. 2 more, guys. Remember, 1 movement, 1 part of the breath. So we're inhaling on 1, we're exhaling on the other. Give me 1 more. Big breath in. Exhale down. Now let's inhale, bring it up. As high as you can. So I came right to the top of my cobra, but your cobra might only be here. It might be halfway up. It might even be that you bring your arms forward because this feels more comfortable. That's okay. Wherever your cobra is, we're gonna lift that chin and widen those shoulders down away from the ears. Big breath in. Exhale, we're gonna shift back into our child's pose. So big toes come together, hands stay where they are on the mat, hips shift back. Let's put that together, guys. Big breath in, tuck the chin, round and roll it up. Widen the shoulders, shift the weight forward, elbows go back, nose goes forward, exhaling down. Inhale up to your cobra, wherever that is. And exhale back to child's pose. Big toes come together, knees come apart. 1 more time, guys. 1 movement, 1 breath. Tucking around. Find that modified plank. Lower nice and slow onto the mat. Inhale, shoulders roll back, elbows squeeze in. Exhale, back to child's pose. Well done. On your inhale, let's come up onto all 4. So we're going to come up into tabletop position. Now I am on a tile floor. So if you're on a tile floor or something that's very firm, you might want to add another mat or a little more cushion for your knees. You could always double up on your mat too if you want a little extra cushion for these exercises, or a blanket or a bolster. Don't be afraid to use your props. Your props are here to help you enhance your practice. They don't mean that you're bad at what you do. So use your props and use them well. Okay, so we're gonna come on to all 4s here. Knees are hip distance apart. And we're gonna take that right leg and we're gonna send it out behind us. Let me scoot up here a little bit so you can see my full leg. Okay, so abs pull in nice and tight. Right leg goes out behind us. And I want you to square your hips off. Toes are down towards the mat. Squaring your hips off meaning that top hip rotates down. So if I'm up here, my toes are going towards the camera or out away from the body, I'm not squaring my hips off. So I want to actually roll the hip down, and I'm lifting and holding the leg up through the glute, through the back side of the hips. So your abs pull in nice and tight. Right leg goes back, hips square. And then we're going to take that right knee, we're going to bring it outside of our right hand. Now, if you're not very flexible in your hips, you're really tight, which is what we're focusing on, that right leg might only get here. So what we do is we use the buddy system. We take the right hand and we help the right foot up to the top of the mat. That is okay. So right hand comes inside of the right foot. We have 90 degrees, so front knee is over front ankle, and we're in line with the hip here. Again, if you need to put something over that back knee, that's okay. Go ahead and do that. From here, we're going to come up, still keeping that front knee over the ankle. Hips square forward, and we're going to push into that front knee. Now, just enough to line up over the ankle. So if your foot is too far back and you're doing this, this is not going to feel good on the knee or on the lower body. So back off, take a break, scoot that foot forward, and shift the weight forward, and then come up. So hands come on hips, we're going to square them forward. We're going to relax the back toes, take a big breath in, start breathing into the belly. So this is our modified crescent V pose. So hands can stay on the hips or arms can come up over the head, whatever feels best for you. Take a big breath in, exhale, maybe move that knee forward a little bit more. Now this back leg on the front side, I want you to try and relax this because we're getting a stretch on the front left side with the right knee being forward. So big breathing. Both hands come back down inside. and the right leg comes back. Let's readjust. So we're gonna make sure our knees and hips are centered. Our shoulders, wrists are centered. And we're gonna take left leg up behind us, not dropping the hip, but squaring the hip off. And then left leg comes outside of left hand. Maybe we use the buddy system to help it up there. From here, pushing this knee forward over the ankle and coming up to our crescent B, squaring our hips to the front, abs staying nice and tight. We're breathing. Back toes relax. Maybe take a big breath in, try to grow really tall, and then move that front knee forward. Very good, good guys. Back me up, both hands come in, both hands come back down. All right, let's scoot up to the top of our mat, and let's plant those toes and lift our hips, but we're gonna do a bent knee down dog. So, first things first, we're going to come up onto the toes, bend the knees, and I'm trying to bring my chest as close as I can towards the tops of my thighs in this pose. So, knees bend, and I'm pushing my hips back. From this position, I'm going to push the right leg back, bend into that left knee, and my left heel is still lifted. Hold for a breath, and switch. Now my left heel's back, right toes, right knees up. Both knees bend, and I push back both heels as much as I can. So my knees might be bent here, and that's okay. If you can get them all the way back without rounding through your upper back, that's great. But if not, we're gonna bend those knees. And then come on back down to the mat. All right, guys, here we go. Let's come back up onto those knees. We're gonna center. So, going into our hamstring isolation here. So, we're gonna take that right foot forward, and we're gonna bring those toes up. Now, you might need a block or a wall or something to hold on to, but hands come forward. So they come down inside that right leg. Now I've got a lot of hamstring length, so I can come all the way down. If you don't have a lot of hamstring length, your knee might be bent, which is okay, and you might need to use a block or something to elevate you, a pillow, a little low chair, whatever works. What I want you to focus on is lifting the tailbone and taking this right hip and pushing it back as you come forward. So my back is actually nice and straight from the back of my head down to my tailbone versus being rounded through a cat. So I want to open the back, lift the tailbone, and hold it here in our half splits. Now this, you want to avoid shifting back like this, because look how I'm rounding through my back. This is going to take away from the stretch that we want. So we have to stay high, hips nice and high, leg nice and straight, toes up towards the ceiling. Take a big breath in. Exhale, stay where we are. We're going to bend into this knee, shift the weight forward, coming forward into our lizard lunge. So both of my hands are inside of my right leg. Now again, you might be up on something. That's okay, up on a chair or something high, whatever works for you. We're going to relax that left leg, hold and breathe, keeping our chest lifted nice and high. Relax the back toes. And let's shift our weight back. Knees come together. We're going to come up onto the top of our mat again. All right, so abs in nice and tight. We're going to take that left foot and bring it forward, toes up. Hips square to the front. I'm going to take my left hip, so my left, push it back as I rotate my right shoulder forward to come down inside of my left leg. So again, I'm not sinking my hips back, I'm not rounding. If you're doing this, if you're rounding, you get down to the mat. Get something, get a prop to help you be up so your back is nice and straight. Toes are up, we're holding and we're breathing. Big breath in. Exhale, let's check in with our back and our tailbone. Let's lift the tailbone, flatten the back a little bit more. If our knee is bent here, that's okay. Big breath in. If we're finding that we're sinking back, let's walk ourselves forward, pulling this left hip back more and right shoulder forward and down. Now big breath in, we're gonna flatten the foot, push that knee forward, hands come inside or up on something for our lizard lunge. Relaxing the back leg, relaxing the back front side of our right hip that we're stretching. Chest is lifted. We are breathing and relaxing into the pose. Maybe 4 breaths here. Big breath in and out. Big breath in and out. 2 more. 1 more. Good, shifting our weight back. We're gonna bring our knees back and let's take those hands and bring them out in front of our shoulders. So again, they're out in front. I'm gonna lift my tailbone, pull my abs in, shift my weight forward, plant the toes, and take your hips up and back to your down dog. Now, don't move your hands, guys. We came up from this position. I don't want you to move your hands. If your heels are really high in this position, you're really tight in your calves, don't move them back to get the heels down, because what that's gonna make you do is bend through your back, right? So if I'm here, and this is my down dog, my heels are high, if you walk back to get your heels down, you're gonna round through your back, which is gonna take away from the stretch that we want in the lower body. So that's why I like to bend the knees, get the tailbone lifted, keep that tailbone lifted, try to push those heels back as much as you can. Let's hold, big breath in. Exhale. Good. Big breath in and exhale. Okay, guys, here we go. Right knee comes through and comes to the right wrist. We're going into our pigeon pose. So we can drop the back knee, drop the back toes. We can roll onto the right hip if we want to move this right foot forward just a little bit. Now, pigeon always has to be knee friendly. If it doesn't feel knee friendly, stop, don't do it. So once we get that right foot forward, we're gonna take our left hip and we're gonna come back and we're gonna try to lift the right hip and pull the left hip down so our hips are square in our pigeon. So we're gonna start high in our pigeon. We're looking for the stretch through here. Now, if you're rolling to one side, you're not gonna feel that stretch. So you might actually have to be high, or maybe even on something in your pigeon, or really high in your pigeon here. If you're really tight through here, and that's okay. Take this at your own pace. You just don't want to be rolling to one side. So we can start high in our pigeon. An option here is to plant the right hand, shoulder wrist alignment, reach all the way up and back with the left to grab those left toes or left ankle. But remember, this has to be knee friendly. If this does not feel good on the knee, this is too much of a strain, we don't do it. So, your option, stay high in your pigeon, or reach back and take a bind with that left hand to our left toes, or you can start to work yourself forward. Now, my cue to you is to walk those hands forward. Don't go from here to here. You want to keep the back nice and long. We can start rounding into our pigeon like this. We're not going to be stretching through here. So, start tall and then walk those hands forward. If this is like way enough stretch here, stay here. If we can bring those arms down, that's okay. Or if we can come all the way down, that's okay, but you gotta maintain your form. You can't be rolling to the one side. So whatever pigeon you want, high, low, or up with our bind, let's hold for 2 breaths, 2 slow breaths. Big breath in and out. Big breath in and out. And one more time, let's do another one. You can never get too many breaths, can you? All right, to come out of our pigeon, if you're low, you have to come back up, plant your back toes, lift the back knee, and then let's come back onto all fours. All right, so here we go. Hands walk forward, toes plant, hands stay where they are, hips come up and back, bent knee into our down dog. Try to push those heels back as best as we can without rounding through our back. and left knee to left wrist. Now, back knee, back toes drop. We can roll to the left, take that left foot, bring it forward gently. And then we're gonna lift up on the right hip and roll it down as we're lifting up on the left hip into our pigeon on this side. Always knee friendly, keep it knee friendly. So we can stay here. We can reach the right arm back to the right toes if we want to take a bind. If this is okay, we can stay here, or we can start to walk those hands forward. Maybe coming down a little bit more. Each side is a little bit different, so work with it. If you're rolling a lot onto your left side here, come higher. Come higher into that pigeon so we can stay square and really get the stretch in that back left outer hip. So whatever pigeon feels good for you, coming down. And let's breathe. One more, guys. Coming back up nice and high. You're going to keep that left hip down. You're going to roll onto it, and you're going to come towards me. And we're going to come into our bound angle. So, sitting up nice and tall, we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Now, we're going to start really far away from the body though. So I'm almost making a soft diamond with my legs instead of a butterfly. So I'm moving my feet further away, knees are opening. I'm going to sit up really tall and bring my chest forward, but I'm gazing at the TV, I'm gazing at the camera, gazing forward, keeping my chest lifted. So this is more of a low back stretch than it is an inner thigh stretch. So we're going to start with our low back, stretching into that, and then move into our inner thighs. So I warn you not to round into this pose, because again, rounding that back is going to take away from the stretch we're trying to get down through here. So stand up really tall, ribs over hips. You're going to hinge from the front side of your hip, which I don't go very far when I'm here. And I'm going to hold and breathe. One more breath. Good. And then sit it back up. Now we're going to scoot those feet in a little bit closer so our knees move out a little bit further. Doesn't matter if your knees are up here, here, or here. It doesn't matter where they are. We're going to adjust so we can sit up really tall. Grab our shins, our ankles. Same thing. We're going to hinge from the front side of the hips. My chest is lifted. I'm still gazing forward. I'm not rounding into what I call the Gollum pose, where I'm rounded down here. I'm really open and lifted. So we're going to hold and breathe. One more. Good, guys. And last time, let's bring those feet in as close as we can into our hips. So lots of inner thigh stretch here. We're not going to fold very far at all here with those feet as close in. Even if your knees are way up here, that's okay. We're going to grab inside of our ankles. We're going to sit up tall. We're going to pull, coming forward as much as we can. So I'm here in that pose, but I'm not rounding forward. Open those shoulders. So big breath in. Good, and roll it back up. Knees come together, guys. We're going to come down onto our backs. We're going to continue our low back hip stretches. So, come down to your low back. Let's see, adjusting yourself. I did not wear the right clothes for this workout video today. Noted for next time. All right, guys, we're going to come into our reclined bound angle. So feet come up, soles of our feet come together, hands come inside the knees. So if I'm on this leg, my hand is inside, going to the outside of my foot. Elbow inside of my knee, going to the outside of my foot. And I'm going to pull those knees down towards the mat. So this is happy baby. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together in our reclined bound angle. So this is one variation of it. Take a big breath in. Exhale. One more, guys. This is probably the best one for me today. It feels so good. It's a big breath in and exhale. We can choose to stay here for a few more breaths, or you can open those feet out to happy baby. We can hug those knees down towards the floor, or we can rock our happy baby, whatever feels good on your back. Back and hips. For me, that's going to be a reclined bound angle, so feel free to take the pose that feels best for you. Give me 2 more breaths, guys. Nice and slow, no rush. One more, good job. All right, we're gonna bring those knees together, feet come down onto the mat. And we're gonna take that right leg up as straight as you can, flex out through the heel. Now your knee might be bent here if you really tighten your hamstrings, that's okay. We're going to cross that leg all the way over. So we start out straight or bent. Wherever we can get it up, leg, cross it all the way over. Hands come out to cactus or goddess arms. Knees go over to your left. Chin goes over to your right. Now you're going to find a balance of taking those knees away, but keeping the right shoulder on the mat. Breathing into your low back. This is also a neck stretch too. If you can really relax through that upper body, keep the right shoulder on the mat. Let's take 2 breaths. Good, and let's switch sides. So we're going to come back to center. Hands stay where they are. Right leg comes to the mat. Left leg comes up as straight as you can first. Maybe it's bent. And you cross it all the way over. Knees over to the right, chin over to the left. Left shoulder sitting on the mat. Big breathing. Good, guys, and let's come back to center. All right, here we go. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together one more time for a different variation of our reclined down angle. So soles of our feet come together, knees fall apart. Hands can rest on the belly, or you can bring them on those inner thighs. Let's take 2 breaths here. So we're stretching on that inner thigh there. Try to relax the back though. This is really a pose where you need to relax into it and not necessarily hold yourself in this position. So 2 big breaths. One more, guys. Good. Let's close those knees back up, keeping our feet flat on the mat. Right leg comes up. And we're going to hug it in as close as we can to the body. Now we might have to bend. We can grab below the knee or above the knee. Just don't grab the knee. If we're bending the knee, it's not really going to stretch through here. We want to keep the leg as straight as you can. So wherever you can grab it, left hand, so my left comes outside of my right side, right? My right hand, or my right leg. Right hand comes out to the mat, left leg goes over to the left, chin over to the right. So we're looking for that stretch all through here, guys. Give me 2 more. Good, 1 more. And back to center. Bring that right leg down. Here we go. Left leg comes up as straight as you can. Right hand comes outside of the left leg. Left hand out to the side. Slowly bring the right leg, the left leg over to the right. Left hand stays out, chin over to the left. Breathe into the outer left hip and low back. Give me 2 more. And then come back to center. Very good, guys. Feel free to take one more final pose in this class today that feels good for you. So maybe that's another happy baby, a reclined down angle. Maybe you want to take a smile twist. Maybe you want to do an inversion, go up into a bridge or a shoulder stand, whatever feels good for this area that we've been stretching today. And then let's meet back on the mat. So feel free, take a few stretches, take whatever you need, get situated. We're going to meet in our Shavasana pose, but we won't necessarily do a Shavasana together. You can do one after this for sure. We'll just do a little closing ceremony. So when you're ready, settling back down onto your mat, coming into a comfortable final resting pose. So let's close those eyes, maybe slow that breath. And let's just take a moment of gratitude right here. I'm so grateful that I can do this video for you guys, that I can reach out to you guys and keep you moving and feeling good during this very uncertain time. I'm so grateful that you joined me today. I'm very grateful that we have this opportunity, and I'm very optimistic that we won't be here for too long. So maybe take a moment right now with your next inhale and exhale to have a gratitude moment. What is something that you are grateful for right now? You can feel free to stay here and go into your Shavasana, or if you have to get on with your day, you are feel free to go. Thank you guys so much for joining me again today. Again, my name is Kelly Williams. I'll be here every week until we're not doing these anymore. And feel free to modify this to your own, and I will switch it up each time we have a different video. Until then, guys, stay healthy. See you then.